working on balance. And before we do, the lilac is in full bloom today over to the side, and it's just a beautiful spring day. When the doors were open, you could really smell the lilacs. So I'm just going to put my remote down. Balance. It's one of the 5 components of fitness. We have cardiovascular fitness, flexibility, agility, power, balance. And I find even people that are super athletic, they might not have a good ability to balance. So one of the basic things to do in balance is to stand in Tadasana, we call it in yoga, and to feel all 4 corners of the feet. What I often find is we have our weight shifted over to a kind of a habit, a predominant side. So first of all, come to your midline and take a look down at your feet, and you want to have the balls of the feet rotated in slightly. It's very subtle. So not like this, bow-legged, but just so that the outsides of the feet are parallel. And that will help you to come right into the center of the pelvic floor. That helps you to travel right down through the inside muscles of the legs. And the other thing that happens is in Tadasana is you really lift up from the rib cage, one of my favorite things to keep emphasizing, and that is to pull the rib cage in. So it feels like you're knitting the ribs back, but you're not sucking in. So you're not trying to be smaller. You're attempting to get space in between the first floating rib, which is the one that you feel when you come in on the V, and the tip of the pelvic floor, the ischium, right here. And you create space in there. Now the weight travels through the feet into the floor, so you don't feel top heavy and like you're holding yourself up. You want to feel more like from the belly button down, which is just below your belly button, 3 fingers is your center of gravity. And from that point down, it feels like you're anchoring, okay? So it feels like you're pressing your feet through the floor. I actually find it's really helpful to pull up all the toes and then press down through the base of the toes, and then you can really feel yourself anchor down into the floor. And then from your center of gravity up, it feels as if you're ascending. And to me, that feels very much like there's a plumb line that's pulling up right from the crown of the head, and there's a sense of helium rising up. And right away, you feel more alert. But you're not tight. There's a rise from here up, and from the belly button down, and anchoring. Now, I say all this like it's a piece of cake and just do it. This took practice, of course. So that feeling of anchoring and rising, and then you have more, you're much more anchored. So that's the beginning. We balance evenly on the feet. Then we go to balance by lifting one foot up. So we're going to lift the right foot up first. Now, instead of shifting the weight, see if you can stay in the middle of this left foot. And I'm mirroring you, so I'm the opposite. You're going to press down into that left foot. Now, I'm pressing down especially through the big toe and the second toe. And you're lifting the foot. Now, if that's a piece of cake, then you grab the foot, press onto the inside of the thigh, and then you center and you press the palms together. It's just a fancy way to feel yourself draw all your weight down into one leg. Now you can see I'm using a focal point with the eyes, and focal points are always very soft. It's like you're taking that spot in rather than looking with laser vision, which is going to kind of make you top heavy. The way you use your eyes really helps the spinal column. So that spot that you're looking at is at 45 degrees. So you're slightly dropped through the chin, not like this, looking up. Sure, the head is back, but you want to have the chin drop slightly. Now, for those that feel fancy and really anchored, you might come into a steeple and rise and press into that standing leg as the palms press together. And you keep the lift from the rib cage. Then just feel really happy. You did it. Even if you're toppling all over the place, you're starting to accentuate the inner plumb line. In yoga, this line in the spinal column is a hollow called Sushima, and it's like a hose, and the energy is traveling from the base of the spine, sacral area, right through to the top of the head. And you're increasing that communication through the whole spinal column by accentuating the balance, the anchoring, and the rising right from the center of gravity. Now from there, and always just keep dropping into the standing leg, you can take the arms down, and then you come to your center. Super. Always feel free to grab the wall. And then you press now into that right foot. All 4 corners corners of the feet will feel your rise, and then taking the opposite foot up. So nice to help the foot to get to the top of the thigh. If you have the foot down lower, sure, just see if you can keep pressing the foot into the thigh. And in either position, they'll demonstrate the so-called full pose. But remember, the full pose is what your body does. And you press that foot into the thigh. Yes, centered. So it really helps to still your mind. It's difficult to think of emails or laundry. And then you drop into that standing leg, and again, you can rise if you feel anchored, and you can accentuate that anchoring. And I find that doing it on the camera feels so different than doing it without anybody looking. So if you notice that too, whoa, you can keep working on feeling the center point. Whether you're in a class with people and you might notice that you're focused on the outside world, people around you in the environment, and then when you're alone, notice how you can be really inward in your balance, because then you can carry that into when you're in a group or in a group class or with somebody, or in my case being filmed, so you can be really inward focused, yeah, and not notice the outside world. Then clearly, let's come back down. Release. Great. Now from here, come up onto, let's take the left foot up, and you're going to come over on the toes. It's a really great stretch in through the top of the feet, really big stretch. And then you're going to roll to the outside baby toe side, stretching into that area. This will also help the shin, the lower shin muscles stretch, which are really skinny, and they can get inflamed easily, and that's why we can get sore ankles or get what's referred to as shin splints, which is inflammation of the shin muscle. And then you come to the other side. You might feel really good through that standing foot now that you brought blood into the toe base. And you're rolling to the outside baby toe side. And then come on back. Now we'll lift, so I'm going to turn. You're going to lift and come right up onto the base of the toes and attempt to slowly lower. So here you may wish to hold on rather, and lift. Come up as high as you can, fully contracting the calves, and then come back down. And up, and back down, and up, and slowly down. Again, really slow. Now come slow all the way up, lifting. Attempt not to tip forward. See if you can have a straight line up. High, all the way, fully contracting the calves right at the top of the foot, and then slowly down. This helps to get deeper into the back of the leg muscles, the calves, and coming down. Good. Okay. Now, bend into the knees. Have the knees pressed together. The heels are apart. So I'd like to show you from the back. The heels are apart like this, as opposed to together, apart. And this will help to keep the knees tracking. Then you bend, let the hips sit back, and come up. It's a little tiny squat that's helping you to stretch in through the Achilles, a little bit through the bum and the hips. And the knees, as you notice, are staying behind the toes. This will help with balance, and it will also help you keep up the quad strength to do a squat, as well as the bending of the knees, that flexion and extension. So important. I find that for people, that's where the challenge comes, is it's hard for them to do a large bend of the knees, a squat and come down. It starts to show up in the bathroom where you're trying to get up and down from the toilet. Shows up when you're going downstairs. And this is really important for flexing. Now we've warmed up the knees, let's come into balance. You can take the right arm up, grab on, and feel free to have that right arm against the wall to support you. Hold on to the base of the toes. Press the knee down, lift from the rib cage. Feel the chest open. Keep that knee pressing down. Open from the chest and the rib cage. Rise. The elbow is back. Keep that press in the standing foot. Keep the knee actively pressing down. And then you can gently release. And we'll come right to the other side. Here we go. Grabbing on to the base of the toes. And press that knee down. Rise. Draw the elbow back. And again, the gaze is down a little bit, so not up. That helps to lengthen the back of the neck. You'll notice it's great to squeeze the elbow into you, not like this, out, but that helps to open the shoulder, the front body. Feel good, feel proud, you're here. You're doing what you need to cultivate balance. This will help you when you're 90, 60, 58. And then you can gently release that leg, come on down. Okay, the next one's a biggie. See if you can have your feet, we're gonna go hip width apart. I'm gonna just stabilize here, come up on the toes, and then down, that's it. You're just gonna balance out, not just, it might be a biggie. Come up, and then lower down. So we're strengthening, whoops, the muscles of the feet, and of course, feel free to have one foot in front, because you'll have more balance. And coming up and down. Please keep the knees behind the toes, so you're not like this, but you're back and coming up and down. Good, you can do this one as long as you wish. If you need to have the other foot in front, again, staggering the feet gives you balance. Bum leads back. Okay, notice if you could have the feet together. Come up, ooh, and then down. Okay, here's what the last one. Going to come into standing. If you need to hold on for support, please do. Lift the right knee up. Rotate the right knee out. Whoops. So you're coming out like so. And come back. Lifting from the ribs. Again, holding on if the support is needed. And coming back. Keeping the rise from the rib cage. Rotating out. You're strengthening the lower leg on that standing leg. And then switch, coming to the other side. Keep your lift, rise, drop into your standing leg. The knee is just at the height of the hip, so right where your pocket would be. And then you rotate out. Come on back in. Keep that lift of the rib cage. Keep your breathing steady. Oops, you don't have to hold on there. The hand. Nice control, not too speedy. You don't want to swing the knee out. And then you come back and release the leg. Okay, let's just do a little counter stretch. Forward bend, let the head fall. Totally release, let the head hang. Make sure you feel all four corners of your feet as you pull up from the bum. So that means you're sending the inner thighs back. Really good. And then you can slowly uncurl. Just let your arms dangle as I grab my remote control, and you slowly uncurl. You just let the arms dangle, very Neanderthal-like, and you come all the way back and stand nice and tall, and you are done your balance exercises. Well done.